गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। टुडे वी गोइंग टू डू समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, दैट इज पाकिस्तान's Indus Ploy. If you've seen in the last 1 week, 10 days, there's a hue and cry from Pakistan. पानी दे दो नहीं तो हम मार देंगे, that kind of a nonsense which is going. And it started, of course, this is last year's video, but it's there.
तुम हमारा पानी बंद कर दोगे, हम तुम्हारा सांस बंद कर देंगे.
So great thing, तुम हमारा पानी बंद कर दोगे तो हमारा सांस बंद कर देंगे. This story is now been carrying on. It's been carrying on quite a bit, right? And their Khwaja Asif has said, I'll go to war with India. Then someone has said, I'll bloody do this. Someone comes on TV and says, missile mar do, and all some nonsense. Okay. But besides all this, there's this guy called Hassan Aslam Shard. Okay, this fellow is he's one of their Firangs in US. So he's from there, Harvard mein kahin hai wo. From there, he's written an article in Dawn, and suddenly I've recognized that this fellow is a Khattar anti-Indian. And he makes fun of a prime minister and everything. And so he says, this is what he's put a opinion piece in Dawn. I went through it. It's all nonsense. In my today's piece for Dawn, I posit that India's assault on the Indus water treaties is not merely an attack on Pakistan's water rights. It is an attack on the very idea that international agreements must be honored in good faith. All that nonsense. He's a lawyer. So he thinks he is doing this thing. So I had to reply back to him. Bhai, kya karega tu? Jo karna kar le. That's what I told him. Do what you want. You lawfare, foffer, jo bhi hai. Because after that, he's put a lot of comments and all. And the Pakistanis are, Oh, incidentally, I forgot to tell you guys. Pakistanis showed me dancing in a nightclub drunk. One of those AI generated things. And I was quite decent. I got it fact checked by the army. Army said nothing of that kind. And that handle through which they got it, released, had been changed 6-7 times, and it originated in Pakistan. Everything was fine. The only thing I didn't do, was I was shown dancing with girls. I should have said, there are very all Pakistani girls. Then they would have bloody... Anyway, that's a different story. So now back to him. So there's a thing on. And then Khwaja Asif comes and says, we're going to attack them. Some other fellow says, we're going to bloody bomb the dams. Okay. And then opinion pieces are coming out, and it's not that wasn't Dawn, many more are coming out. And Ishaq Dar has written to UN Security Council. I vote for Security Council, bhai. Uska kya lene dena hai pani se? Everyone. So they are making a huge hue and cry, as if India has stopped all the water, India is diverting water, India is doing this, India is doing that, and they're creating a situation through their narratives. Well, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it? Because they're under pressure. On one side, that Asim Munir fellow runs off to Iran and all those places. He's trying to make peace out there. On the other hand, they're fighting a four-front war. This is some bloody AI depiction which I saw. I said, yeah, ye acha lag raha hai. It looks colorful. Let me show it. But in fact, Afghanistan, KP, everything, they're in a mess. So what do? Right? So what are the issues? Why are they hyping this up? Obviously, they're externalizing the situation. Are they looking for a war? Today I saw some analysis which says in the next 9 to 10 months, they'll have a war with India. They'll come to war with India. Aane do yaar. In the same way, these bloody idiot Pakistanis, they say there's no space for war. Fati padi hai. हिंदी में बोलो ना, फटी पड़ी है। एक तरफ बोलता है कि हम आके ठोक देंगे, ये कर देंगे, लड़ाई करेंगे, बांध को उड़ा देंगे, बॉम्ब कर देंगे, मिसाइल कर देंगे एंड ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस। दूसरी साइड वो मुल्ला मुनीर बोलता है देयर इज नो स्पेस फॉर वॉर, इवन इफ आई गेट डिफीटेड आई टेक द होल वर्ल्ड विद मी। ओके, सो दे आर इन अ confused state, but more than confused state, they're trying to externalize the situation. Internal factors are there. POK, Baluchistan, KP, Afghanistan, the situation is completely out of control. Suddenly there's a clamor कि भाई हम मिडिल पावर है। भैया मिडिल पावर कहाँ हो तुम? Where are you middle power? You're standing in the middle, everyone has a power around you. You're a bloody beggar, yeah. You're a beggar with a bloody hole in that karchi. So they think they are bloody great just because that Asim Munir went into Iran, he went to everyone and he's trying to make some peace and all that, which the Iranians themselves said, yeah, you didn't do peace, it's the Qataris who are doing peace. That's a different thing. Besharam hai ye. But they think they're doing everything. Okay, so they have a status, they have a hype as if they have won the war. And you see articles coming out, oh, we now sorted out the Indians, now we'll sort it out. We got world peace. We prevented World War III, all those nonsense which they're talking. And now they can show ice to India. India will this thing. Plus the fact now they're drumming up sentiment in the West and in USA. And all these fellows who are sitting in USA are the guys who are writing. So they're building up a narrative in the West that India is being cruel to them. It is going to be a humanitarian crisis for them and all that. But their water problem is serious. I mean, at the end of the day, the water problem is serious. And they've created it. Look, let me tell you, India has so far not diverted one bloody drop of water. It does not violate. Interestingly, I'll show as we go along. I'll explain to you. India has not violated the treaty so far at all. अभी बाकी है, and I'll explain. So don't worry, Amitesh. I'll explain to all of you what's the status of the treaty and everything. So you see that they're doing all this nonsense as hype for other things. Anyway, leave that as it may. Let's understand Pakistan's water problem. Because understanding Pakistan's water problem is important. They have a problem, self-created. Part of it is created by the fact that they don't have money. The other part is by neglect. Okay. Now this is it. We know there are 6 rivers in the Indus basin: Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab. This is Satluj. Sorry, this is Satluj. This is Bias. We'll talk of this, lot of it, right? And this is Ravi. This is Jhelum. ठीक है ना? I mean, sorry. This is Chenab, Ravi, Jhelum, and Indus main. 6 rivers. The eastern 3 rivers. This is Satluj, Bias, Ravi. They are meant exclusively for India. India can do what it wants with it. Chenab, Jhelum and Indus are meant for Pakistan. That's a treaty. And this treaty came about in 1960. We all know that. I'm not going to say whether the treaty was correct or not, and all. That's a different story. I am now going to say that, look, these are the 3 rivers. Within this, even in those 3 rivers, there are certain things given to you. It's not as if every water is there. You can put power stations. You can't divert waters or interbasin transfer nahi kar sakte ho. We know that. Okay, as per the treaty. Then there's certain, you can take water for normal normal agriculture, you can take water. People who are living along the river can take water. Only thing is you can't take consumptive purposes. That means you can't make canals and all that from there. But water for the locals, you can take. Nothing. There's no harm. Okay. Electricity, you can have electricity. There's a certain amount of pondage also allowed in that. How can you have electricity without pondage? And that pondage caters to the lean season. You see, when the water is full in the dam, the pondage is irrelevant. You will get enough water to generate electricity. The problem is when the pondage is low, right? When the lean season. So your pondage is given to you as per the lean season pondage to generate electricity. No, and we have dams on that. I'll come to it. But there are some fundamental problems in Pakistan. What are these? And I'll explain to you as we go along. The fundamental problems are today, for many reasons, siltation, everything, Indus does not reach the sea. It stops about 10-15 kilometers short of the sea. The sea water has come in. As a result, their coastal areas here are all going bad. Salinity is coming here in and around Karachi. The mangroves are being killed. Okay. Groundwater is depleting in Pakistan. This is the fundamentals of their water problem. Water contamination is high. And this water contamination can be reduced only by regular flushing. Okay. And the cities are struggling for water. Big cities don't have water. They are in a very, 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 very bad shape. Okay. And their water management is poor, like I've written. In fact, they don't have no water management. See, fundamentally, I'll come to it. They have 3 dams, and those dams are silted. 2 are silted fully, and the third is under construction. Oh, I will explain to you this story. Why? Why they're in a precarious situation? Okay. The problem with Pakistan is they think that they're heroes. But the actual fact is they're zeros. Let's not have doubts about it. Okay. Yeah. So he says, heard Bilawal Bhutto giving speech in assembly to get water from Middle East. यार ये हनुमान थोड़ी ना है. हनुमान थोड़ी ना है कि पानी लेके आएगा वहां से. Some fellow says I'll get it from Central Asia. Hey, how will you get it from Central Asia? If you have to get it from Central Asia, you have to get it through Afghanistan. You think Afghans will really let you water, give you water? They're themselves closing water on the Kabul River. And I'll explain that also. Now, be that as it may, there's a nice little clip from Vox which explains to you the problem of water in Pakistan. Hear it, and then we'll get back. Yeah.
In the past 75 years, Pakistan's population has increased 5-fold, while the water availability per capita is plummeting.
So you just see, people are increasing, water is the same amount, so the number of amount of water for each person is decreasing. And this red line is the minimum water available. They are already in water scarcity situation. Okay.
By 2025, the region is predicted to reach absolute water scarcity.
This is a slightly old movie, but it's right. They are already in absolute water scarcity.
But Pakistan also suffers from increasingly severe flooding events, each one destroying land and claiming hundreds of lives.
There have been more deaths in Pakistan as flooding
Millions of gallons of water
caused by monsoon rains.
These twin water crises expose what happens when you take a river system and redesign it way past its limits.
That's what they've done. They've redesigned the Indus internally way past its limits. And whatever they have done, they have spent nothing to resuscitate the river and the system. whatever they got from that Indus Water Treaty, because you see what happened is when the Indus Water Treaty was done, so someone decided, look, or someone said, give them money because the dams are in India and Pakistan will have to build dams and canals. They had nothing. All the canals and dams are with India. So India should give them some money and we give them some money. It's okay. I mean, that good correctness of that, I'm not interested. Right. So the point is that we gave them money and they built something. But after that, they squandered everything. They've squandered everything. They have not been able to maintain that at all. So that's the problem with Pakistan. Okay. Now, let's look at the thing which I said earlier. Now, Pakistan has 3 dams. These 3 dams are Mangla, Tarbela, and Daimar Basha. Okay. See it fully. Now, Mangla is on Jhelum River. Okay. Mangla is on Jhelum River. And Tarbela is on Indus River. And Daimar Basha is also on Indus River upstream. And the border of Gilgit-Baltistan and Chitral. Now the thing is this. Tarbela and Mangla are old dams here. Okay. Now, both these dams are silted. What is the meaning of silted? Right? They are mud has come into them. So the capacity to hold water in these dams is almost nil. In dry seasons, or rather lean seasons, it's not dry season, lean seasons, there's no water which can come out of this dam. Zero. Okay. The dam is useless because the pondage is gone, silting, and you're not silted it. And today you can't silt it. The silting is so much that you can't take that silt out. They have no way. You have to break the dam to take that silt out. Desilting is out. They're trying something, but there's no way they can do this desilting. Now, Daimar Basha is under construction. It will take another 5 to 6 years to get the dam up. Even when it comes up, if silting of Tarbela and Mangla are not done, Daimar Basha will only make good, not even make good, it will only make good 30 to 40% of what Tarbela and Mangla have lost. Okay? They have no way of making up. So there is a story which is being given in public. Oh, when Daimar Basha comes, our problems will be solved. It will not be solved. And Daimar Basha is yet to come, and it's in Gilgit-Baltistan where there's political problems now. So we'll see where it goes. And Pakistan has got no storage capacity. The only storage capacity it has is Tarbela and Mangla, these two. That's it. Why? Why are there no dams? It's a very fundamental, simple, technical thing. You can have a dam if there are mountains or valleys. You can dam a valley so that the hillside behind gives you pondage. Funny, you need to hold that water. In plain areas, you don't have that. If you don't have that and you put a dam out there, the water will just flow either side of the dam and go in and flood the rest of the places. That's not what you want. So normally in plain areas, you have barrages where you have limited water, limited stocking of water at 8-10 feet, where you can stock water. And downstream of a barrage, you have headworks where you can divert that water and maintain water. You can give water to the way you want, distribute water. Okay. So that's how it is. That's why if you see this thing, there are a lot of barrages. all these are barrages and headworks down the line. Even a headwork holds some water. Though some headworks don't hold water, they just channelize. But some headworks can hold the water. Right? Some little water. A dam holds a lot of water. That's the difference. And you can't have a dam in plains. It has to be where there's an existing pond or an existing lake or something like that. And Pakistan doesn't have anything of that kind. So they have a problem. Okay. Now the thing is, how important is water for Pakistan? Now Pakistan is an agriculturally driven economy and a nation. Agriculture is very important. It is 20 to 25% of their GDP. So if water doesn't come, they're finished. मर जाएंगे. 60 to 70% of the population depends on agriculture. This is the problem with them. 60 to 70% of population depends on agriculture, which gives them 20 to 25% of GDP. And this is dwindling. Till about 3 years back, Pakistan was a net food exporter. It changed during COVID. It didn't change because of COVID, it changed during COVID. Now, Pakistan is a net food importer. And it doesn't have money for food, it doesn't have money to grow. Now, this Asim Munir, he made that SIFC, Special Investment Facilitation Council. Then he, like a hero, he went and sold land to some people, saying, I'm getting foreign investment. Then that land needed water. And then he tried to make 6 canals into deserts. When they made 6 canals into deserts, downstream in Sindh, there was a problem. There was a huge halla-gulla 2 years back. And after that, that 6 canal thing was stopped. No one talks of it. But the canals which have already dug, water is going there and slowly they'll take it off. So what Asim Munir is doing, he's killing downstream Sindh. This fact. Ask any Pakistani. So more water into Punjab, into the desert areas, where army has bought land at cheap rates. And all this was done before those canals were even thought of. Actually, he knew it. He took the land off. It's all taken to Fauji Foundation with investment, whatever it is. Nonsense. The typical Pakistani attitude. And then he gave the plan out for 6 canals and started making them. Some canals have been made, some are not been made because people started crying. But slowly what Asim Munir will do over the next 2-3 years is increase the length of that canal because it's money for Fauj. That's Fauji money now. So the Fauj is going to take water away from there. Water is decreasing. If water is being held up and used in Punjab, that much water won't go to Sindh. So there will be problems. There will be problems down south also, in South Punjab, in Pakistan, not us there. Now, like I said, so there's going to be a problem, and Pakistan will never become a food sufficient nation. There will always be food insecurity. There will always be a problem of Pakistanis being fed. For the past 3-4 years, I have been seeing that Pakistanis are being given free food, third-rate atta, and even for that there's a stampede. So the poverty levels in Pakistan are going up. A middle power hai here. He thinks he's a middle power, but tomorrow I'll talk about that middle power syndrome also. But this middle power who's gone and licked everyone's bum, doesn't have water to clean his own backside. There's no food. Why is there a water crisis in Pakistan? Population growth and urbanization is so high Where will people go? You saw that clip, the population going up. Another 5-6 years, that population is going to hit 300 million people. Today it's 250. A land can't take on these population, and they're just producing. Pakistanis are just producing babies and donkeys. There is deforestation and mismanagement. I told you about that canals which they were making and land sold off, maybe to shake people, I don't know who. There's a problem of climate change and glacial melt. We also had it in Sikkim. We had a glacial outburst. In Teesta, that whole dam got washed away. Everything. Same thing. There also. They've had 2-3 glacial outbursts. And their water use in agriculture is inefficient. And they don't have water storage capacity. So they have a crisis. So if they have a crisis which they cannot solve, they don't have money to solve, they are not trying to solve. They are trying to go and solve Iran's problem or Qatar's problem. Their own problem they're not prepared to solve. They're not prepared to solve water problem. They're not prepared to solve economy. They're not prepared to solve the Punjab problem. They're not solving the POK problem. They're not solving Balochistan or Afghanistan. They wanted strategic depth out there. They're getting strategic trouble from Pakistan. So, this is it. What are the effects? Why am I going into all this? I'm going into all this because you understand the impact of water and what the Pakistanis are doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Why they're doing is very clear. I have told you why they're doing, because they don't have a solution for it. They have got into so much muddle. They have to externalize it and take it to the world and all that. Even if you open all your dams, they cannot do anything with the water. That's the problem. That's the thing. That's the beauty. You don't have to tamper. You don't have to tamper. Now, the effects of all this is food insecurity and agriculture decline happening. Drinking water shortages and health risks. 80%, this is a figure from dawn. 80% of population of Pakistan consumes unsafe drinking water, and they have health problems of cholera, diarrhea, and hepatitis. And when they have floods, why do floods happen there? You have to understand why floods happen in Indus. Very simple. There's silt coming. See, the Himalayan rivers give a lot of silt. Now that silt keeps coming. Okay. Now at every point, this river is put a barrage or a dam or anything. The silt gets accumulated. When the silt gets accumulated in these canal beds and the river beds, what happens? Artificially, the bed height increases. If the bed height increases, the water level decreases. So in flood time, little water comes in that river, it overflows and creates floods. And in these areas, in the Cholistan desert and the opposite Sindh, that area, water can't go anywhere. Can't go anywhere. It will stay. Drainage in that area is poor. All deserts, that's a problem even for us. In deserts, if you see. So, because of that, water stagnates. And if water stagnates, what will you have? Cholera, diarrhea, hepatitis, and all. It's a fact. These are hard facts. They don't want to see all this. They have economic and social instability because of this. These effects, they couldn't care a damn. That Munir is more interested in going to meet Trump and have lunch with him. Usko kya lena dena if Pakistani starve or not? This is the letter last year after Sindoor. Okay, we wrote. And we very clearly said India has put the IWT in abeyance. We have said it is in abeyance. Remember, it is in abeyance. It is in suspension. We have not abrogated the treaty. This is the thing legally. Now, lawfare. That idiot from wherever, Harvard, he thinks he's a great lawyer. English likhta hai. Because I gave one comment in my Desi way. He wrote one page of all English. I couldn't even understand it. Okay. Anyway, that's a different story. So I wrote, यार ये English क्यों लिख रहा है? क्या करना है कर ले. But the fact is, legally, the Indus Water Treaty is not abrogated. We are not out of the treaty. We just suspended it. And there's a logic for the suspension. I'll talk why. And when did we suspend it? When our Prime Minister said, Pani or Koon beh nahi sakta. Blood and water cannot flow together. He said this. Terror and talks won't go along together. Blood and water cannot flow together. So we put it in abeyance. Now, Pakistan feels that we are diverting Indus water and that's an act of war. Okay, this is an act of war. So, we are very clear. The Indus water, since it's in abeyance, it's not applicable. So, we will do what we want. Yet, we are doing almost everything as per the Indus Water Treaty. We have not crossed that Indus Water Treaty stipulations, except in a couple of places. Not minor infringement. Okay. Now, last year, this fellow, Shahbaz Sharif, he said this.
Therefore, any attempt to stop, reduce, or divert the flow of water belonging to Pakistan under the Indus Waters Treaty would be responded to with full force and might.
So he is going to respond with full force and might. He says so.
And nobody should remain under any kind of stress, remain fully capable and prepared to defend the country's sovereignty and its territorial integrity.
So, you keep defending your sovereignty and territorial integrity. Yeah, what is there in our country is not his. We waffled. This was last year. Okay. Now, what next? There were articles which came out. Okay. The articles which came out in Dawn and all that. I've taken some excerpts. Last year. This is not this year, last year's. In this, it says, while the physical and political limits on disruptions by India are real, the erosion of treaty protection matters. This is not because the water will stop tomorrow. It will not stop tomorrow. Not stop today. But because the system it supports was never built for uncertainty. What happens is the bigger problem for Pakistan is not that you stop water. You can't stop water. Water will go. Their share will go into Pakistan. There's very little you can do. And most of these rivers, if you go into Indus, you go into Chenab, you go into Jhelum, it's all in hills. You can't divert it. In fact, if you don't let water go, you'll have a flood. If you see in the floods which happened in J&K, why did they happen in J&K, Srinagar? The entire valley was flooded and we had to do rescue operations and all. Because the Jhelum had swollen and there was no exit for that water to go. So if this water doesn't go, it's a problem for us. It will flood us first. Same thing in Chenab. Okay, same. Indus, so it flows through Ladakh, and if you go through the very few places in Indus where it is accessible to you. One, number two, in Ladakh, That entire area is so arid and everything, you can't grow anything there. So Indus water is completely wasted for us. It enters at Demchok, I'll show you pictures later, and goes off at Batali. I've seen both. Okay, so he says this is not because water will stop tomorrow, but because the system it supports was never built for uncertainty. The flows of Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, these three rivers, are the backbone of our agriculture. I'll explain this also again. I explained earlier, again I'll explain. Backbone of our agriculture, or cities, or energy system. At this moment, we do not have a substitute for these waters. There's no substitute. They're screwed if anything happens here. The treaty requires India to share hydrological data with Pakistan, crucial for flood forecasting and planning for irrigation and hydropower and drinking water. If we don't give it to them, Pakistan is sunk. Now I'll give you an example. You see, the Brahmaputra comes from China into India, goes to Bangladesh. Bangladesh has a treaty with China. This is the interesting part. Bangladesh has a treaty with China that China will give Bangladesh intimation about the hydrological data, floods and all that, excess rain in the Himalayas, so that Bangladesh can take protective and preventive action in its place to offset that problem. Because when you have a lot of water, cloud burst or lot of monsoon water in the high Himalayas, by the time the water gets into the Brahmaputra system and it comes down to Bangladesh, it takes 5 to 6 days. In 5 to 6 days, you can take a lot of preventive action, prevent loss of life, do whatever you want. Not only loss of life, loss of material, infrastructure. You can do a hell of a lot, provided you know. And Bangladesh and China have a treaty, and China doesn't tell them. And the same lady, Tariq Rahman, has gone to China to lick their bums. China doesn't tell them. Who tells them? We tell them. We tell Bangladesh. And Bangladesh gets saved every year because we tell them out of humanitarian reasons. Now, whether the treaty is operational or not, you don't tell it. We'll not tell what happens. Let's see what they do. What can they do? Their water planning, everything will go awry. They'll be doing something, the bloody flood will be coming here. Or they're waiting for floods, the floods will not come. That's the problem. Uncertainty. That's what he said. The system was not built for uncertainty, and Pakistan has to face uncertainty. Okay. Then, Himalayan rivers like the Indus, not only Indus, all Himalayan rivers, not here, even in the northeast, carry a high level of silt. Their problem is we can flush the silt. If the flush silt, where will it go? It will go to Pakistan. And what will happen? That silt will accumulate against their barrages and their dams. And we can screw them. You don't have to give them water. You give them some sand. Silt, desilt your thing. That silt will go and sit in Mangla, or as simple as that. The weapons, as per him, as per Dawn, last year itself they said, are variability and uncertainty. They're not water. Water is not the weapon. Okay? People have to understand this. Now let me explain the Indus system to you people, those who... Okay. Now, look at this. That the main river is Indus. It starts at Lake Mansarovar, enters at Demchok, right? It goes like this, and somewhere in Batalik here, because this is all POK or Gilgit-Baltistan. It enters at Batalik, goes, turns around, and comes down. You can't use it from here to here. Very little you can use, and there's a lot of water in this. Even the Chinese also can't use it. The Chinese also can't make a dam on it. Okay, it's useless here. Okay, the next river is Jhelum. Jhelum starts at the head of the Kashmir Valley and flows through the Kashmir Valley and enters POK at past Uri. Very little. It's only the valley, Wular Lake and out. I'll talk of that Wular Lake a little later. Okay, this is Srinagar. Thoda aage jaake Wular Lake goes into POK. Uri ke baad. End of story. But it takes a lot of water and it goes and I'll touch on this tributary called Neelam, Kishan Ganga. I'll explain a little later. There's a problem there, which I'll explain. Then the third river is Chenab. Chenab is interesting. Chenab is a very important river in this whole story. It starts somewhere here, near the China border, and it goes down like this. First it goes up north and then it turns and comes down. All in the high Himalayas most of the time till it disgorges at Aknur. Okay. It's a very violent river. And a lot of water in this river because there's a lot of catchment area where water flows into Chenab. And Chenab has to be tamed. And Chenab is violent. A lot of water. In fact, at Aknur it is very violent. Yeah, about 2-3 times the bridge has been really blown off at Aknur. Okay. This is Aknur. The next is Ravi. Ravi starts well within the LAC and it goes down into Punjab after Pathankot. Right. Then the interesting river here is Bias. Now, Bias, though he's shown it here, is between Ravi and Chenab. But the headwater of Bias and the headwater of Chenab are just 8 kilometers apart. Just 8 kilometers. I'll talk of it later. Then Satluj. Satluj starts as a very thin stream somewhere near Lake Mansarovar. And then it around the Kailash range and then comes down, enters India in the Poo sector, and then it flows in and right. And somewhere the Bias gets together and it goes down. Those of you who are from that area will know where it gets. At Shapur Kandi and that belt. Okay. Harike, some other. And then the Satluj goes into Pakistan at Hussainiwala. Hussainiwala is on our side, and on the other side is Suleiman K. Okay, I know this area like the back of my hand because I was a brigade major in that area. From Hussainiwala, we take water down via the Indira Gandhi Nahar, IGC. Okay, anyway, that's a different story. So this is one of these days I'll talk to you about the Indira Gandhi Nahar also. So this is the 5 rivers. Okay, now the Chenab is the interesting river. I said so. It's very violent, a lot of water, flow is high, hydroelectricity is very good in this. So what we have done, as per the Indus Water Treaty, we are making Salal Dam. We made Salal Dam. We had Baglihar, Ratle, Dulhasti, Kiru, and Pakaldul. Pakaldul is not exactly on Chenab; it's on one tributary to Kiru. I mean to Chenab. I'm forgetting the name of that tributary. But understand, Salal, Baglihar, Dulhasti, Pakaldul generate electricity. Okay. Ratle is one stage is done, it is about to be finished, and Kiru is still in the planning stage. So much so. And every time every dam has been built by us, Pakistan has been making problems for us. It has not allowed us to do. All things they'll come and object, and they'll stop this because Chenab is supposed to be their river, and any activity here through the Indus commissioner has to be inspected by Pakistan and okay. Only then we can do. And they've never let us do. Slowly, everything is they'll not let us do. Then you go to a court of arbitration, and then you go to a neutral expert. That fellow gives some ruling. Lot of things. So we've said, okay, yaar, enough is enough. Blood and water won't flow. We'll not give anything to you. As simple as that. We will complete our dams, and we are completing our dams. What we are doing, I'll explain. Okay. Now, like I said, orange rivers are our rivers, their rivers are that side. Now, while the Indus is the lifeline of Pakistan, first and foremost, what we need to understand, even from the eastern rivers, Bias, Ravi, and Satluj, are our rivers. And they can do nothing if we do. We are not taking enough water from them. If you draw water from the eastern rivers as per the IWT, Pakistan will go dry. Because water from the Chenab won't be enough to feed this Sialkot, this belt. Shakkargarh, Sialkot, that belt, it will not be able to. And what Pakistan has done is, there's got a twin canal system from Chenab to Ravi, Ravi to Satluj. They've done inter-basin water transfer. There's no water in Satluj in Pakistan. I've seen it. I was in Ganganagar. You can see Satluj. You can't make out. If you fly, you can make out see Satluj. It's dry. Not now. I was in Ganganagar as a brigade major in 95. 93 to 95. I was a young major those days. My son started going to school then. Okay. So this is how it is there. If you take water from just the eastern rivers, Pakistan's economy will finish. Punjab will not get water. And if you do water variability, I'm not talking of anything else, just water variability in Chenab, that's the end of Pakistan's economy. We can do it today. You don't need to do anything. They have to they know it. But these fellows are making assholes of everyone else. Now, let me explain this. This is the Indus Basin. This is the Kabul River. Yeah, have a look at it a little bigger. This is the Kabul River. This Kunar comes from here, Kabul comes from here, and Afghanistan wants to put a dam here. There is no treaty between Afghanistan and Pakistan. They want to put a dam just after the junction of Kabul and Kunar River on the other side. If they do that, this entire area of Peshawar will go dry. They are staring at this problem. They are taking pangas with Afghans. Now here, like I said, Indus you can do very little. Jhelum will come to it. It's in Chenab is this thing. See, if you see Chenab here, Chenab comes like this, like this, like this, and it goes like this. And Bias comes like this. And this Bias is small and it doesn't have that much water. Now take a close-up look at this Bias, this story. Which is this river? This is Chenab. Chenab comes like this. Here it splits like this and it goes like this. Okay. It is here. Chenab at the end is known by two names, Chandra Baga. Chandra and Baga. It's called Chandra Baga. Locally, people know Chenab as Chandra Baga. Upper reaches, people know it as Chandra Baga. It's only when you come to this bit, it's known as Chenab. Okay. ये सब हिंदू नेम है यार, हमारे गॉड एंड गॉडेसेस का नेम है. So this is Chenab, this blue one. Now this is Beas. Sorry, this is not Beas, this is Ravi. Ravi is the one, from here you see this, but Ravi is like this, it goes away. This is Beas. The Beas headwork and the head start, the head of Beas river and Chenab river are next to each other. This is what we want to make a tunnel here to tap for hydroelectricity from Chenab to Beas. The area gives you that thing that if you put a tunnel, you will get, the water doesn't stop. And if needed, we'll give them that water. Where's the problem? Whatever water will be tapped from here to here, we can let it go in Satluj from Hussainiwala. Not an issue. But provided you talk. You're not talking. So if you don't talk, thank you. Right now the treaty is suspended. Na tere ko pani milega, na kuch milega. But having said that, we have not put the first cut on the tunnel. You have to tunnel that area. And it's an high altitude. Not an easy thing. Not an easy thing. Okay. See this. Yeah, this is it. This is the Ravi river. Goes from here. It starts here and goes like this. This is the Beas river. This is the Chenab river. Chandra Baga. Okay. I hope you chaps are liking this video. I am going into all details so that you understand. And if you like this video, do press the like button. Okay. So here at a place called Koksar. And where is Koksar? Koksar is next to Rohtang Tunnel. It's not here, not next to Pakistan. It is here. And if you put a tunnel here, 8 kilometers, it gets into the Beas Basin, head of the Beas River. Water is not the important thing. Electricity we need. Pakistan will never agree to it. They'll never agree to it. So the treaty is suspended. And I'm sure India will put the tunnel through, take water and electricity and say, okay, now we'll talk. Till then they can, you know what? Kiss what goodbye? Okay. Now let me go to the second problem. The second problem is around the second problem is around Jhelum. I told you, Jhelum starts here. There's a lake, that's Dal Lake. Another lake which is here is called Wular Lake. Okay, now let me get to that. This is Wular Lake. Yeah. Okay. This is Kashmir. This is pink one is India's Kashmir. This is Pak Kashmir. POK. Now the Kishan Ganga flows in our part of the territory. And then here it grows the other side of the Shamshabari. Okay. And then from there it goes as Kishan. It's called in India it's called the Kishan Ganga. Once it enters POK, it's called Nilam. And the water goes like this and goes off. And goes into Jhelum river. It merges with the Jhelum. Now the Jhelum comes like this, comes into the Wular Lake, goes out to the Wular Lake and then goes across Uri and out into Pakistan and joins the Jhelum Lake. I mean Jhelum River. The Neelam and Jhelum confluence, I think, is beyond Muzaffarabad. And now what we want, you'll hear it as Tulbul navigation project, Wuller barrage, everything. What we want is very simple. You want to put a small dam here, right? Like I said, you can't put a big dam. You can't make a big water body there because that will flood your place. You make a little head pond. With that head pond, you get water down to the Wuller Lake from a height, and drop power. And the out of that water goes into Wuller Lake. In Wuller Lake, it goes into Jhelum and goes back to them. We don't touch water in this. You're just using water for. They don't allow it. This is within our rights. In all these rivers, you can draw water. Why they will not allow it? Because this is supposed to be inter-basin transfer. You can't use water there. There's surplus of water in this entire area. There's surplus of water in that place also. We don't need that water at what we are doing. We need electricity. Our problem is electricity. So this is the second problem. And so they have a dispute on Kishanganga and Ratle. I showed you Ratle earlier. Okay, where Ratle is. Yeah. Let me go back. I have to go back to that. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, this is Ratle. They have a problem with the technical specifications of Ratle. Okay. And Kishanganga. They have problems of pondage capacity, spillway configuration, siltation, low level sediment outlets, submerged power intakes, permissible freeboard, all this. In simple things, I'll tell you what their problem is. They don't want us, they want us to have a spillway at the top and our power output at the top. Which means you can take power out of this dam only when the water is full. In lean season, the water goes down. So you want a spillway from the bottom. Your spillway for your power has to be at the bottom for us. If the spillway is at the bottom for us, we can take power whenever we want, irrespective of lean season. And they want us to put us at the top so that they can screw us. So they don't want to have great pondage capacity or reservoir size. Because if they have, you will get more electricity. If you have more electricity, you'll do development. On that side, they don't have money, they can't do anything. They say if we have water, more pondage and more reservoir size, we can flood POK. Now the point is, if before you flood POK, like I told you, you will flood yourself. Okay, they don't want submerged power intakes, because if you do submerged power intake and water is flowing out from the bottom, okay, you can flush at the bottom, and they're worried. If you flush, they don't want you to desilt. If you desilt, first the silt goes that side and clogs their system, and you have pondage the moment you flush and desilt, which will flood their system. You can flood them. Whether we do it or not, they're worried. Okay, and then they're also worried about permissible freeboard. What is permissible freeboard? The permissible freeboard is the amount, the height of the dam above the water level. They want it to be leased. They say we are fudging figures here, but then that's part of bargaining. I don't mind. But the fact is, on these issues, they don't let any of our projects go through. It takes a lot of time. Every project of ours has gone to a level of arbitration. This is, of course, Salal Dam. Salal is here. This has to be repaired, and it is silted. They're not allowing us to silt. If you desilt and flush, the silt goes there. They have whole lot of issues on. This is a dam which was made in the 1970s. They are not allowing you to do sediment tunnels. We want to put sediment tunnels from the side so that you take the sediment out. But now we'll do everything. Abhi the treaty is in abeyance. Before we'll finish all this, and then we'll talk to them. What can they do? They won't even know what we are doing. We're not diverting water here. The only diversion I've shown you where it's in from there to there. Coxer. There's hardly any water there. There are 3 levels of arbitration or mechanism for dispute resolution. The first is a permanent Indus commission. So what is this Indus commission? They have a representative from Pakistan, they have a representative from India. That commission sits down and talks and resolves problem. If they can't resolve the problem, then they go to a World Bank appointed neutral expert. That neutral expert is appointed by the World Bank. He will say, you go take your problem to him. He will decide this side or that side. Right? If that is not also possible, you go to the ad hoc court of arbitration, which will be formed. Now, what happens with Pakistan is, if the Indus Commission doesn't agree, we go to the neutral expert because we are logical. In most cases, the neutral expert has given decision in our favor. But when we want the neutral expert's opinion and his ruling, Pakistan goes to this ad hoc court of arbitration, which is supposed to be sequential. They go there first. So it's like, you try to go here, that fellow will go there. You go there, he'll go here. This is what Pakistan has been doing for the past 75 years. And I think now that story is stopped. And that's why they're worried. Okay. Now, why did we stop this? Is it all of a sudden just because of Pahalgam happened? No. No. This is something you have to understand. Someone has commented. Someone has commented also. In 2023, we gave them a notice. Yeah, I'll read it out. On 25th January 2023, India served a formal notice to Pakistan demanding intergovernmental negotiation to modify the treaty within 90 days. We should modify. This treaty is outlived its time. It was made in 1960. Now, 60 years later, the conditions have changed completely. So we said we'll do it. Pakistan waited until the 89th day, and on 90th day, they gave a small reply. And then, as they gave us a reply, they went to the court of arbitration to scuttle the whole thing. They didn't agree. Okay. In 2024, we sent another letter. 18 September 2024. We changed. We said, look, treaty won't work. Demography has changed. A lot of things have changed. We need renewable energy. We need clean energy. Cross-border terrorism is happening. And the geopolitical reality of 2024 cannot sustain 1960 treaty. So what we said is, we don't want this treaty. We need to renegotiate the treaty. Which meant that let's have a new treaty. We're not saying don't have a treaty. Let's have a new treaty. But Pakistan never replied. They didn't even acknowledge this letter. So they didn't acknowledge the letter. Once you went to them, they said get lost. And they gave some nonsense reply. And second time, they have not replied also. So 1 year they didn't reply. September onwards, they didn't reply. So in 2025, you said, sorry, this treaty is suspended. Now you negotiate a new treaty. That's what our stance is. Our stance so far is very simple. We are not getting out of the treaty. We'll negotiate a new treaty. Till the time the treaty is not negotiated, it is suspended. We are not part of the treaty till then. We'll do what we have to do. So we are doing. So we'll negotiate. When we negotiate, we'll talk. We are prepared to negotiate. Are you prepared to negotiate a new treaty? Come and sit. They'll not come. They want now to use their Uncle Trump to tell us. And you know what we'll tell Uncle Trump? They want to go to China and tell us. We'll tell China, get lost. First thing we'll tell China, if China does say, you give us all the details of the dam you are constructing in Brahmaputra. Otherwise, you get out of the way. Now, Bangladesh has a problem with us for Ganga Water Treaty. That is why these chaps are getting together. Why do you think these chaps are doing this muchi muchi? Pakistan and Bangladesh. Yes. Okay, pre-2025, it was calculated avoidance. And, instigate that tribunal and all this. So they have not, systematically they have refused to talk with us. So systematically we have refused. After this 2025, they have gone to court, short and all. We've said, sorry, we are not interested. No court of arbitration will agree. We will not agree to it because it's illegal. We are not even in the treaty now. So that court of arbitration and that neutral expert are invalid. So where will you go to? You go to anyone you want. That's what we have said. They have gone to human rights issues and High Commission of the Human. Let them go. We also went to Human Rights Commission and everything when these chaps did terrorism. Even now they do it. So we'll tell them stop terrorism. Then we'll talk. Other day, Sandeep Punithan did a very nice show. Have a look at this full video. You will get a good idea about the whole thing.
You saw the spokesperson of the MEA saying that the IWT remains held in abeyance till Pakistan complies and stops supporting terrorism. Is this a use of water to ensure compliance from your adversaries?
No, the underlying reason for this strife with Pakistan and Pakistan's dream to occupy Kashmir. A lot of people don't know, General Musharraf, who was later the president, when he was doing his NDC course in the UK, he wrote a thesis. And it's not there available online now. It used to be. I think the Pakistanis got it. It's been taken off. I read that thesis. So in the thesis, he had argued that the economic survival of Pakistan is related to its waters. Its waters are headed in J&K, and J&K has to be taken by Pakistan at any cost.
Was that the first time that you saw a Pakistan military official talking about water as a national resource and therefore it had to be?
Yeah, that was the first time I saw. Yes, it is a tool to enforce opinion. However, one must look at the IWT in totality. The treaty per se was more biased towards Pakistan. It was a new country. And, he's a new kid on the block. Everybody who says, let's give him a little more.
Yeah.
So something like 78 to 80% of the waters go to Pakistan. We only get 20-25%.
Sorry to interrupt you, General Kaushik, but is this the most unequal water treaty in the world?
Yes, it is one of the most unequal water treaties in the world. Nowhere else has water been siphoned in this manner. That is 80-20 or 70-30. Normally it ranges around somewhere around the 50s, 45, 55, 40, 60. We've been more than willing to give to Pakistan than their share of waters, equal share of waters. In fact, we didn't go ahead with building the capability. We've never looked at it from the point of view of denying water to Pakistan. But I think too much water has flown under the bridge, if I may use that phrase. And so now the government's holding it in abeyance to enforce opinion. Well, I think you must use every tool that you have to guarantee your own safety and security. And this is a tool that we can use, and everybody else is doing it. And why shouldn't we also be on the same thing?
Right. So very clear. We'll do it. What will they do? If they try to hit our dams, they have 3.5 dams. If you hit them, that's the end of the story. You break our dam, the flood will be in Pakistan. And that will be the last flood they'll see, because after that we'll break all the 3-4 dams and 4-5 barrages, and Pakistan's economy will finish. People have to understand in Pakistan that if they do anything and we reply, their complete economy will go. For us, it's only Punjab. Some part of Punjab will get hit. Not right? Not the rest of India. The rest of India has got enough water. And some part of JNK, the southern part of JNK. Even that won't get it. Southern part of JNK, nothing will happen. It's only Punjab. So this foolishness of Pakistan to do all this, I cannot express it in simple words. They're just doing nautanki so that all drama. They think they can force India. They're mistaken. All this lawfare, shawfare and all useless fellows. That's all. Right. I've done for the day. I'm thankful that so many of you have come to watch this program of mine.